Hey everybody, welcome back to Up, Up, and Away, a comic book movie review and news podcast. My name is Joe Gilpin, joined as always by my brother,
Matt.
How are you today, Matt?
Worse after watching this movie.
Yes, I agree. This is a comic book movie review and news podcast, and here on Fridays we get together, we watch a comic book movie, and we review it critically. We talk about what worked, what didn't work, we
What made it better?
deconstruct it as much as possible. Yeah, we try to make it better if we possibly could.
Ooh, that's a good point. If we can.
Little caveat. Today, for the podcast, we have decided to watch Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance.
Also known as Ghost Rider 2.
This is the sequel to the 2007 Ghost Rider, which was widely considered as a very middle of the road, not necessarily a success, but definitely not a failure kind of movie.
It wasn't that good.
But it wasn't a failure.
It wasn't that bad though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's middle of the road.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I said.
I know, but it's closer to bad than it is to good.
True. Well, I feel like that is because of its sequel in a lot of ways.
Sure.
If that movie stood by itself, I don't think people would consider it that bad. They would just kind of consider it of its time. But people think of it as bad now because this movie is terrible.
Sure, when you juxtapose it with, say, like Daredevil, Elektra, Fantastic Four 2, the other Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Then yeah, like it's just it's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's better than the bad ones.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's worse than the good ones.
Yes. But that's not saying much.
It's like how The Matrix is an amazing movie.
Never seen it.
But people, because of Matrix 2 and 3, think worse of the original Matrix.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like this has a very similar thing. So this movie stars Nicolas Cage as the titular Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
it also
back.
stars...
He's the only person back.
It is the only person still back. They couldn't get anybody else.
They got a different devil.
This movie also stars Kieran Hines, who will be in Justice League.
Yeah, he's playing Steppenwolf in Justice League. He's also Mance Rayder in Game of Thrones.
Violanta Placido, Johnny Whitworth, Christopher Lambert, and, surprising,
our favorite,
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
It's a good day to be Oprah. We have Idris Elba to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you want to give people the baseball card stats for this movie?
Yeah, this movie was directed by the team of Neville Dine and Taylor, Mark Neville Dine and Brian Taylor, who also did the movie Crank. That is what they're most known for. They also did Jonah Hex, which we're going to have to do one day.
Yes.
So these guys do not have a great track record.
No, a lot of people like Crank. They think it's a big, crazy, ridiculous movie. Big, crazy, ridiculous movies have never been my personal forte.
I agree.
They're not good.
I like cerebral plots.
They're not good. I mean, I think deep down we can all agree that beyond all the pretense, they're not good movies. They're not. I don't find them entertaining.
This movie was produced by Stephen Paul, Ashok Armitage. Sorry if I butchered your name. Michael DeLuca.
I'm sure you're listening.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know your wife.
Michael DeLuca.
Michael DeLuca and Avi Arad. This had a screenplay by Scott M. Gimple, Seth Hoffman, and somebody whose name I was shocked to see attached to this movie was David S. Goyer.
He does so much comic book work, it's crazy.
Yeah, he also did Man of Steel and part of Batman v Superman.
And The Dark Knights.
And The Dark Knights, yeah.
The Dark Knight trilogy was...
Which was already going on!
Yeah, no, this came out the same year as...
Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
How the fuck?
Yeah. And you can see how this movie was so heavily influenced by The Dark Knight.
Sure.
It was very heavily influenced by The Dark Knight.
I don't even remember this thing being marketed.
Oh, not even a little bit. I think I remember a little bit.
I don't remember.
But Scott M. Gimple, who helped write this, he either is or was an executive producer for The Walking Dead.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, this movie had some serious people behind it.
Yeah, he was. He's an EP on it from 2011 to 2014.
That sounds about right. So,
he was a showrunner.
What else do we have for baseball card stats?
This movie had a budget of $57 million. Do you want to guess how much it brought in?
70.
More.
100?
More.
How much?
132.
This movie took in $132 million.
I'm kind of shocked they didn't make a third one.
Yeah, I guess...
It was just so bad.
It was just so shitty. I mean, it got a huge critical thumping. What did it get on Rotten Tomatoes? Do you know?
Do you want to guess? I know.
30.
Less.
15.
17.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's right, though.
It's accurate. It is accurate.
That's pretty fair. Honestly, that's where this movie fucking belongs.
We're going to get into the beat-by-beat breakdown here in a second, but we have to first bring up two just overarching problems with this movie. The first one is the dialogue is not good.
It's bad. David S. Goyer.
It's very bad. The dialogue in this movie is terrible. But I feel like that problem ties into the second problem, which is a much bigger problem. Nicolas Cage is a shit actor.
Especially in this.
He is really bad in every scene that he's in. He never has a redeeming moment.
Nope.
Where he's able to land anything. He is actively terrible. And you can see, unfortunately, I think, his influence on every scene he's in.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of, I think he rewrote all his dialogue.
Sure.
I think he was very heavily involved in advocating for certain tone elements. Because the movie is very, very dark, very, very dark, very, very dark. In the middle of nowhere, here comes a crazy, weird, semi-funny-ish thing. An attempt at humor.
Okay, there you go. Because this movie is not funny. I didn't laugh one time.
No. Never when I was supposed to.
No. Yeah, I laughed at how bad it was. And that happened about 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's one of the first time I laughed out loud. So you wanna hop into this thing?
Let's do the beat-by-beat breakdown.
Alright, well, the movie starts in Eastern Europe, where we see a French priest named Moreau. That's Idris Elba.
Yes. I like that the movie is not taking place in America. It is not American-centric.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think that's cool. I like when superhero movies do that.
Yeah, true.
Because we get so many.
It's one of the only ones.
I mean, we're kind of conditioned through Marvel to be like, oh, everything happens in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers,
Spider-Man,
take your fucking pick.
Cap,
Doctor Strange, there's 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
That everything happens in New York City. But that's not really the case.
Yeah,
Stuff should be happening all over the world. And this is a good example of that.
The universe. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Eastern Europe, and he is warning the monks of this monastery about an impending attack by the devil's forces to obtain this boy.
Sure.
This boy named Danny.
Anthony Stewart Head in this scene. One of my favorite actors. I love Anthony Stewart Head.
I was going to say that. And the monastery does fall under attack, and Anthony Stewart Head is killed, as are all the other monks. Moreau escapes, trying to help the boy, and his mother escape, but they are shooting at Moreau, thinking he's one of the bad people. So she flees with her son. As there's a big chase down a road, Moreau manages to distract the men chasing all of them. He gets shot out of his car, basically, and as he's falling off a ravine, he shoots into their car, shooting out their tires.
It's a pretty cool action scene.
Sure, yeah. It's the best scene in the movie. It's the best scene in the movie.
There's nothing wrong with what's going on here. Yeah, it is the best scene in the movie. That's true.
And he nearly dies in the process, but he also does lose track of them. And now he believes that only the Ghost Rider is capable of protecting this boy, so he seeks out to go find him.
This reminded me of that thing in Simpsons where it was like, quick, we need Superman, and comic book guy barges in, he's like, no, actually, this is a job for Ghost Rider, maybe She-Hulk,
Green Lantern,
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Once Moreau shoots out those tires, you can turn off the movie.
Yes, you can stop watching. If you just want to watch a fun 3-minute action scene, there you go.
There you go. Just watch the first couple minutes of Ghost Rider 2. So now we get kind of a little backstory in the Ghost Rider, because apparently we need it, because they just totally wrote off the first one.
Yes, they retcon everything that happened in the first movie. The first movie is completely unrelated to the second one. I'm not sure anyone watched the first movie, and I'm including Nicolas Cage, who starred in the first one. Because, yeah, they're showing us the origin scene again.
Johnny talking about his father.
Which is completely different. They're talking about his father, completely different.
Yeah.
His agreement with the devil in the first one, it's almost accidental. And it raises this kind of interesting question about informed consent about this whole deal.
Sure.
Because he didn't mean to agree to be the devil. But in this one, he's like, yeah, sure, let's do it, and like crashes a beer bottle and signs in blood. It's craziness.
I liked your impression there. Let's do it. Let's do this. And they're calling the devil, who we're supposed to believe this is the devil. This is not just some demon. Roark. They're not calling him Mephisto.
Rourke, I called him.
Rourke?
Yeah.
Whatever. There's a national spectre named Tanner Roark, so I'm going with Roark. And that's who gave him the power of the Ghost Rider, not Peter Fonda.
Yeah, some middle manager. Who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Kick bricks.
Kick bricks. And so we're told that Ghost Rider seeks out the evil in people.
Yes.
And it's everything from a white lie to genocide. He sees it all the same.
Yes, if you have done anything in your life, evil, quote unquote, then you are going to be punished by the Ghost Rider.
He does not differentiate.
He does not differentiate. And this raises some interesting questions, and we're going to talk about them because they're one of the only interesting questions raised in this movie.
Yes.
First of all, if that's the case, 2-year-olds tell white lies.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
and why are you murdering everybody?
Why are you murdering literally everyone? That is the worst power to have. What does evil mean in this universe?
In this universe? I don't fucking know.
I know it's a heady question, and
it's never answered.
It's never really answered. What is evil? Should there be differentiation? Is this earned? Is the Ghost Rider a force for good, or is he a force for evil? There's just a lot of questions left up in the air.
Yeah. And so this, of course, drives Johnny Blaze into hiding, because he's fighting with the evil spirit within him.
Because he doesn't want to suck the soul out of everybody.
Sure. Moreau...
Even though that's what he agreed to do.
Moreau manages to find him...
That could be a dig, but like, you got contracts, brother.
He finds him with relative ease. And he convinces him to save the boy in exchange for the ability to restore Johnny's soul and remove the curse forever, in direct contradiction with the end of the first one.
Yes, where he was accepting it and had a chance to give it up, but never did.
Peter Fonda was like, alright, deal's the deal, man. And he's like, no, I'm going to use this for good. And then we literally opened the second with him being like, this is a curse. It'll never be lifted.
I just wish there was some way I could get rid of this.
Somebody call Peter Fonda. Meanwhile... the pursuers have forced Nadia and Danny from the road. Earlier we saw them, they're working as pickpockets, basically. Yeah. They robbed some dude.
Gypsy thieves.
Basically. And as they take to the road, they are pursued by those evil guys from the first scene.
Yeah, some bounty hunters.
Yeah, because they're trying to get Danny. They are... we learned that the leader is her former boyfriend, Kerrigan is his name, and Kerrigan gets them both. He ties Danny up, and he's about to execute Nadia when the Ghost Rider appears. So Ghost Rider kills several of Kerrigan's men, pretty brutally, and then moves in on Danny. Nadia is able to distract the Rider, who is then shot with a bunch of grenades into submission, and so Kerrigan leaves with Danny. So Kerrigan escapes. And it's just him. He's the only one from his crew left.
Everybody else gets murdered. And he has a good reaction to it where he's like, this isn't what I fucking signed on for.
Kerrigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is completely weird. I was not like to do this.
He calls Kieran Hines. Johnny wakes up the next morning. We're like 45 minutes in, by the way. Johnny wakes up the next morning in the hospital, and on the way out, he convinces Nadia not to trust him, but to accept his help to find Danny. Because he's like, hey, I'm the Ghost Rider. I'm an evil guy. However, Kerrigan tells Roark about the Rider, and Roark speaks an incantation to Danny over the phone, and this, in effect, blocks the Ghost Rider from being able to track Danny.
He puts up a firewall.
Yeah.
Get it?
Get it.
A firewall?
I get
Everybody?
it. I get it, because internet's, and there's fire. But he also tells Kerrigan that, like, oh, but you can be sensed, so that was total bullshit. We didn't need all of that. And he tells him also where to deliver Danny. Nadia later tells Johnny that as she lay dying one night, she made a deal with Roark, her life in return for him impregnating her with Danny.
What a weird thing to ask for.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there's 1,000 requests, but, like, that is not... To be Rosemary's baby mama is not the first place that you go.
Is this what the show Jane the Virgin is about?
That's season 4 of Jane the Virgin.
Yeah, honestly. This makes Danny a direct vessel for Roark and the potential for him to have unlimited power on the surface world, because he's part devil. Roark lacks this power, as he is so far from hell. He is very far away from hell.
Yeah, he's got bad reception.
Yeah.
He's got like 1 bar.
1 bar. Danny nearly escapes from Kerrigan after crashing their car, but he breaks his ankle and is recaptured, so good job, dipshit.
Completely immaterial scene.
Yep. That night, Nadia, it's literally, the whole point was to show us they were in a different car.
Yeah.
That night, it was like an ice cream truck. That night, or no, it was like a VW Bug. That night, Nadia and Johnny...
They were in a day-woo, I believe. A day-woo.
They interrogate a known contact of Kerrigan's, and Johnny takes off ahead of Nadia to deal with Kerrigan. Nadia saves Danny as the rider converts a mining machine into a massive firing machine because like all his vessels turn into Ghost Rider vessels.
Right around here, we're actually like 35 minutes in, because I have a note that says we're about 35 minutes in.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where I said, please check how far we are into this movie, because it completely is falling apart.
Yep.
In every way. The dialogue is terrible.
Nick Cage.
The fight scenes are... The fight scenes within the same shot are alternating between kind of cool and so stupid. Yep. Unbelievably stupid. Everyone is constantly breathing hard and in leather jackets.
There will be one person who's not wearing a leather jacket. Danny. No, he is. No, Nadia is too, actually. I'm not kidding.
Everyone in this movie is wearing a leather jacket. I'm not kidding.
Even the devil.
There's these animated little vignettes that they keep cutting in with.
Yes, they do.
Where it's Nicolas Cage giving a little bit of voiceover, and everybody is talking about... One of them, I remember, he's like, I don't know what the devil does. The devil doesn't know what the devil does or why the devil does it. But he does stuff. And it's literally like showing like things of evil people throughout history, and then they like put up Jerry Springer as like a joke thing. What the fuck is this?
Why are you all being mean to Jerry Springer? He's actually like a good person.
He was a mayor of a city. Get the fuck off. In 2012, that's a crazy outdated joke.
Yeah, it really is. Nowadays, we know who they put on there. So, yeah, he turns this big mining machine...
Rachel Ray? Who the fuck are we saying?
A future world leader. He turns into a massive fire machine. I'm not going to say it. I was kind of into the big mining machine turning into a Ghost Rider machine. Sure.
I liked that.
That's where they spent all of their money, I'm sure.
They spent a lot of money on that.
It's a real thing. It's the Bagger 288. It's the heaviest land vehicle in the world from 1978 to 1995.
Oh.
So it's like, they probably spent a lot of money to get that thing.
That's pretty cool.
And that thing destroys the hideout complex and it mortally wounds Kerrigan. So when Ghost Rider catches up to Nadia and starts to use his penance stare on her because she is a thief, and I guess she dealt with the devil, and that's a bad thing. But you did too.
She brought to the world the devil,
the Antichrist.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. Yeah. And she did it seemingly willingly.
Sure, to save her own life.
She's really the villain of this story. Like if she was like, just let me die. Yeah, if she had been willing to self-sacrifice, but no, she was selfish and cowardly, and you played yourself.
Yeah, if someone was like, hey, either I kill you or I bring the Antichrist to Earth, I'd be like, shit. Like,
I guess I gotta die, yeah. That's a pretty clear call.
But Danny is able to stop the rider with a word, exercising his hidden power. And it's like, whoa, Danny's real powerful.
Yeah, we're starting to learn that Danny's a lot more powerful. He is able to control a demon, so that's obviously big. Right after this scene ends and Nicolas Cage turns back into a human, I believe he sits up and says something like, oh boy, that was crazy.
That happened.
That happened is what it was, yeah. He's the fucking worst. Yeah. Nicolas Cage is the worst.
Oh no, it gets way worse in a second here. Later, they end up having breakfast at some diner or some bullshit. And then,
the kid calls him, he says like, hey, you're pretty cool. And the only reason that line is in there, I believe, is because I suspect Nicolas Cage has it in his contract that he has to be called cool somewhere in every movie that he does. It's the only reason that they would have that line in there.
Yeah. And so as Johnny, Danny, and Nadia are all going down the road, Moreau catches up with them.
Oh, not just going down the road. Do you remember the piece of dialogue here?
I know. Okay. Why don't you say it right now, Joe?
Do you want to?
I'll take it. Danny asks asks Johnny a bunch of questions about the Ghost Rider, and even asks him, what is it like when does the Ghost Rider pee, basically?
This is literally the question.
Yeah.
Which, fine, he's a little old to be asking that
question.
He's
like 11, 12?
He's like 11 or 12. They don't ask
The prophecy said like before he's 13.
So yeah, he's almost 13.
Yeah.
So really he should just be like, leave me alone, I won't be here.
And then Nicolas Cage, not kidding, he starts pantomiming peeing.
Yeah.
And he says it's like a flamethrower. And then they cut to one of those animated vignettes of the Ghost Rider peeing.
A flamethrower.
A flamethrower.
Yeah, and it's like from behind, and he's going left to right with it, like he's trying to write his name in the snow. And he looks back over his shoulder, and while rock music plays, the Ghost Rider is pissing and nodding in slow motion.
He's like,
what the fuck is this movie?
Oh, God, it's so bad. So, scene shifts to Roark, and he goes to the scene where Kerrigan and all the complex was blown up. And using his power, he revives Kerrigan and turns him into a demon. And this demon is now capable of instantly decaying anything he touches while shrouded in darkness.
Yes, he looks like shit.
He looks like total shit. He gave him blonde hair and, like, gave him prosthetics.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it looks really shitty.
He looks like a soggy piece of shit.
Yeah.
He looks terrible.
So now Johnny and Nadia bring Danny to Moreau's monastery with a very warm reception. Moreau delivers on his end of the bargain, and after explaining that the Ghost Rider is this twisted incarnation of the spirit of justice, Zarathos, after the Zarathos was captured and tortured to madness while in hell, Moreau exorcises Johnny of the spirit, and Johnny becomes human again. So the head monk, Methodius, was that what his name was?
Yeah, I actually want to stop here. I want to talk about
Methodius.
I want to talk about another potential theme that I think they left on the table, and that is the concept of vengeance versus justice.
Yeah, honestly.
Because that's essentially what's happening here. He's moving from a place where he is the spirit of vengeance to become the spirit of justice.
Something Batman did.
Yeah. This is
lots of vigilantes.
Yeah, it's a big question of vigilantism, of heroism.
This was the whole season 1 of Arrow.
Yes. Should you act in vengeance, or should you rise above that and act in justice? And I think obviously the heroic answer is justice. Justice, yeah. That's where the heroes lie. But it's still very understandable for an anti-hero, a demon, to be a spirit of vengeance, like the title of the movie.
Oh.
No, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, so I'm going to call him Methodius, played by Christopher Lambert. Methodius proclaims that Danny will never be saved from the influence of evil.
Monk.
And he will never be saved from the influence of evil, and says he must die. So they take Johnny, Moreau, and Nadia captive in order to execute Danny. Kerrigan ends up intervening, killing all the monks, and taking Danny captive again to deliver to Roark. So none of that mattered. The others follow, with Johnny not wanting to desert Danny after having promised to protect him. With the ritual to transfer Roark's spirit and power into Danny underway, Johnny, Nadia, and Moreau infiltrate the compound to save him. Kerrigan kills Moreau, but Danny... Moreau dies very unceremoniously.
Yes, that's true. He is just taken out. No problem.
By Kerrigan, just fucking...
It's very Whedon-esque.
Danny, Roark has stated that they have the same powers as he does now, as they both share the same power. He gives Johnny back the power of the Ghost Rider. He, throws up fire on him. Not kidding. So, Roark manages to escape with Danny, because Danny passed out, as Ghost Rider is beating ass all over the place. But Ghost Rider and Nadia end up giving pursuit. After a struggle, Ghost Rider manages to kill Kerrigan and cause the SUV carrying Roark and Danny to crash. The Ghost Rider then confronts Roark and sends him back to hell by just throwing him into the ground. So Danny, who died in the accident, is returned to Nadia. Ghost Rider places him in her arms, and he starts to channel the blue flame of Zarathos, the spirit of justice, and he manages to revive Danny and assure him of his safety. And the film ends with the rider, now covered in angelic blue flames, riding off on his motorcycle saying, "My name is Johnny Blaze, and I'm the Ghost Rider." And that's the end of the movie.
That's the entire end
of
the
movie.
This is quick. This movie went very quick. This explanation went very quick. These explanations sometimes take us an hour.
Spider-Man 3 took us 2 hours.
Yeah, this took us 20 minutes. So a couple of things here. First of all,
guys, this movie's really bad.
This movie sucks. This movie is terrible.
No, you go. I'll do it at the end.
I was going to say, how do you clean up this movie and make it better?
You gotta hit more on the justice versus vengeance side. The title is Spirit of Vengeance.
And by the end, he's a spirit of justice.
Yeah.
He's not even a spirit of vengeance anymore.
Yeah.
So his journey, theoretically, is, although it's never earned, is to move away from the title of the movie.
Also, Johnny Blaze seems like a dick.
He's constantly mean to people. There's no redeeming factor about Johnny.
He's not funny like a Tony Stark.
He's not self-sacrificing. He's not
anything.
He doesn't seem particularly troubled.
He's like a child. I mean, he's literally like a 17-year-old as the Ghost Rider.
Well, it's because they gave Nicolas Cage the keys to the kingdom and said, do whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
And he did, and it's shit.
I mean, look at the Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's fantastic, and we will talk about that in tomorrow's episode where we go over all the TV episodes.
Yes.
Because they are now done with that arc.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, now I'm excited.
Couple of things. If you want to clean up this movie, 1, take out all the stuff where Nicolas Cage is making jokes.
2, take out Nicolas Cage.
2, recast Nicolas Cage, maybe put in Idris Elba. He was really good. He was a much better Ghost Rider than Ghost Rider was. 3, you gotta clean up this dialogue.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. 4, you need to include some much more serious characterization. Because
there's nothing to anybody.
There's no depth to any character in this movie. Everybody was just whoever they were introduced to us as in the first 2 lines. That's exactly who they are, and they do not change.
Yeah.
The kid, Danny, is supposed to be the vessel of the devil or
It's supposed to be like the heart of the movie, basically.
Yeah, he's the Damien Omen kid. I never know anything about this kid. I never know. Tell me anything about this kid other than that sentence.
Nicolas Cage bought him a shitload of food at that diner.
Yes. He's the vessel of the devil. We know who his mom is. We know who his parents are, and that's basically all we ever know about him.
Yeah. We don't even know anything about Nadia.
No, we never know anything
about
her.
Where does she come from?
Why did she make a deal with the devil? How did she know to make a deal with the devil?
How did Moreau know about the Ghost Rider? You know?
How did he know where to find him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He found him just like in 2 seconds.
There was no problems.
There was no problems in this movie.
Essentially, yeah. It was just the only problems were people shooting at them.
Yeah. And you're Ghost Rider, so it doesn't even hurt you. So, do you want to go through a quick character by character? Just like a couple thoughts on everybody?
I guess.
But we gotta start at the top.
Nicolas Cage.
Shit.
0 out of 10.
Shit.
He was real bad in this movie. What, theoretically, is the growth for this character in the movie? Where he accepts...
But I mean, he doesn't even... The whole point was like, oh, because he asked Moreau, he's like, oh, do you think the spirit of justice is still in there? And he was like, I don't know, do you feel him? And he said, no. And then by the end, he's there. It's not even like he was searching for him.
No, yeah, there was no journey of self-discovery to become a better person.
He knew it was bad all along.
Yes.
From the beginning, he's like, that's why I went away, because I'm killing everybody.
Yeah, he starts in one place, he ends pretty much in the exact same place.
Yeah.
You can tell me the third movie would start with him in the exact same, abandoned barn, and it would be no problems.
Sure.
Like, it would not violate this movie in any way.
Sure. Yeah, does he still not do the penance stare? Like, I don't...
No, he's exactly the same person.
We know nothing.
So there was no real
we learned nothing.
Character story for the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
We learned absolutely nothing about this character in this movie. He had no growth.
And he had the most characterization by far of anyone.
Sure, he liked peeing.
Yeah, that's really what we learned about this character.
The first one, he liked that monkey video. The second one, he loves peeing. That's the Ghost Rider.
Do you remember in the one fight, the one where he brought the mining equipment to life, he just, is breakdancing midair at one point?
Yeah, he really was. They shot him with something, and then he was just, horizontal in the air and spinning.
For a long time.
For way too
seconds.
long?
Yeah.
Gosh, the fuck was that all about? You know what you can honestly even do? What if he had, one of those little pocket watches, and it had, Ava Mendes' picture in it? He's like, oh, I can't go back to you.
Oh, she's completely gone in this movie.
Yeah.
She is never a thought in this movie.
Because you think he'd be like, oh, but if I go back, I'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You fucking told somebody you'd meet him at 3 instead of 3:30 one day.
Yeah, honestly. That's it.
I hate the lack of differentiation on the penance there.
Yeah, it's so...
What a clumsy weapon. What a lazy devil.
Also, one dude withstood it for so long.
Yeah, he legit stood up to the pen and stared for like 6 minutes.
Ghost Rider's just staring this dude down. He's just like, no. And that happens for a really long time while we're seeing like Danny and Nadia do stuff. Man. Alright, let's go to Kieran Hines, who played Rourke, who's essentially... Are we told... He's the devil. He's Mephisto.
If he's not the devil, he's at least a demon.
He's Mephisto.
Yeah, he's the Mephistopheles in this movie.
Or Mephistopheles.
He wants to have unlimited power here on Earth.
A vessel.
He needs a vessel to have unlimited power. Mm-hmm. And so that's that kid. Great.
Sure, that makes sense. And we understood that fairly early enough along.
His general plot is easy enough to follow.
It's weak, though.
It's weak, and Kieran Hines is given very little to do in this movie.
Yeah. He's given one note.
Yeah, he only ever plays... He's very much in the vein of... And I say this without all of the campiness, but the one-note and overly wrought evil performance. He's in the same vein as, like, Jack Nicholson and Tommy Lee Jones in the Batman.
Yeah.
Those, if you just darken the shit out of them and take away the campy element, you get something like what Kieran Hines did in this movie.
Sure, yeah. Like you said, he's just not really asked to do a whole lot. It's just, this is Nicolas Cage's movie, don't get in his way.
To it.
It's Nicolas Cage's movie, don't get in his way.
He's scratching at the surface.
That
was a line in the movie that made us crack up, when Nicolas Cage at one point is just... could not be overacting more.
Yeah.
For a scene that demands so little, it would be hard to fuck it up. He finds a way to fuck it up.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was the scene where they were trying to find the contact of Kerrigan. And they're just, oh my god, this movie. Third, Idris Elba. He's actually pretty good.
Idris did good work here. I got no problem with what Idris was doing.
He unceremoniously was killed. There was no, no, Moreau, or anything. It was just, what's his face? Kerrigan just comes up and...
There were a lot of unanswered questions about the character, who he really was.
It seemed like he was going to be somebody.
What his plot was, what his goals were.
It seemed like he would, if this was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it seems like Moreau would be somebody.
You'd think so, but nah.
No. Moreau kind of seems like, what if he's in that, the Doctor Strange stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To add some weird, mystical... No, just fucking... He's just some French drunk.
Yeah.
He likes wine.
He likes wine and shooting guns.
Yeah, it's what
being gorgeous.
It's what we learned about him.
Again, he's only really given one note to play, but he plays it pretty well.
Johnny Whitworth was Kerrigan. It was whatever. It was shit. Violante Placido was Nadia. Whatever.
Yeah, just everybody else in this movie only had one note, and they all did it reasonably okay.
I think the kid's name was Fergus something.
That sounds about right.
Whatever. This movie was just a big whatever.
It's hard to care about this movie because watching it, I don't think anyone else cared about this movie.
Do you know when you were the most excited in this movie? I do.
The first, scene?
When you saw Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when I saw Anthony Stewart Head, I was like, oh, okay, he's in this. Maybe this movie is great.
And then he died.
And it never, I wasn't into it.
Joe, I think that might be it.
I really don't have anything else, and I don't want to trick people by pretend that I have other things to say about this movie.
No, this movie's very bad.
Better or worse than the first Ghost Rider?
Oh, it's way worse.
Significantly worse.
Oh, God. I was about to say,
that officially.
This might be the worst movie we've done.
Ooh, boy. You had another movie that we watched.
Superman Returns. I was going to say, this might be worse.
This might be worse than Superman Returns, right?
Because that at least had better actors.
Well, and Superman Quest for Peace was pretty terrible, too.
Although I put that ahead of Superman Returns.
We're going to do, I think, either right in the new year or before the new year, we're going to do
a year in review.
No, where we rank every movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then we're just going to have one big list.
And just keep adding to it.
Just keep adding to it. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. Yeah, we're going to have a big whiteboard.
Just draft it out.
Just draft it up, man. I think we both agree what number one would be. But we'll leave that to the mystery of the readers. All right,
okay, Matt, let people know how to get a hold of the show.
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook.com/UpUpAndAwayShow. You can find us on Twitter @UpUpAndAwayShow. We are on Instagram, UpUpAndAwayPodcast. Or if you want to email the show asking us anything or how we felt about this movie,
negatively.
If you have a specific question, you can email the show at UpUpAndAwayPodcast@gmail.com. Joe?
Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow with a mid-season recap of everything that's been going on.
Only 4 shows, though.
And a lot of them are having mid-season finales.
Most of them are. I think they all are. Flash, Arrow, Gotham, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
So it's
no Gotham. It's Legends.
There's no Gotham. Yeah, Legends. So we're going to have that episode tomorrow where we talk about all the TV stuff, and then we'll be back Tuesday with another Tuesday News episode.
Yeah, already lots of news.
It's going to be a great time. See you guys soon here on Up, Up, and Away.
I'll be up and away, 'cause they don't judge me anyway, so whatever.